Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Ariana. I am so excited to finally be uploading again on YouTube. But today I kind of wanted to talk about Airbnb co-hosting, how you can get started, how I got started, what are ways to find hosts and everything. So today I just want to take a deep dive into that because I have gotten some traction about it on my TikTok, which will also be linked below, so make sure you follow me there if you haven't. But I'm going to be talking about Airbnb co-hosting so you guys have a little bit more information on how to get started if you do want to do this. But yeah, I think that's kind of what I definitely want to address. I've been promised this video before and I'm finally getting it up, so my apologies. But yeah, if again this is your first time here, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. I'll be doing a lot more videos like this, as well as like daily vlogs and just other little things that I'm learning as I approach my 30s. I can't believe I'm almost to my 30s. That's so crazy. Anyway, let's get straight into it. Okay, so I don't have like a list of a lot of questions or anything. This is honestly just coming off like the top of my head, just remembering like what are some common questions that people ask me, and I'm just gonna share with you guys like how I actually got started, how this idea came about, and all of that, so you kind of follow along and kind of get some more information on like how I actually started this. And it's not a long story at all, but if you want to fast forward, please feel free, but I'm just going to tell you like what I did to get to the point that I am today. So it's 2023, so like last year in like December 2022, I was just thinking about different ways that I can make money and I can become an entrepreneur, because I've done many like little businesses here and there, but I wanted something that was kind of like I can have a soft life, you know, like I'm only working like a certain amount of hours every week, and the rest of my time is doing what other things that I enjoy, or becoming like a full-time content creator. So that's kind of like essentially a little bit of my goal, what I wanted and what I've been working towards is becoming a full-time entrepreneur, Airbnb co-host, and then a full-time content creator, and then other little streams of income that I want to come in after that. But that's just like immediately was like my goals. And so I was like, okay, well, what about Airbnb? I was like, well, I don't really want to get a property. Like I'm not trying to do all that, like the LLC and then get it approved by the apartment complex. Like I wasn't trying to do all that, okay? I just wanted to get into the Airbnb game. And so I heard about co-hosting, or just like people like who have an Airbnb but want to focus on getting more Airbnbs rather than like running the property. And so I was like, well, they need somebody to do that. And then I found out that it was called co-hosting. And so I was like, okay, bet. Like I could literally just ask a host like, hey, I am a co-host and I can help you manage your property. I can help you restock. I can help you manage the cleaning. I can help you manage the guests. Like I can literally run your Airbnb property for you. And then that gives back the host time to grow their business, right? So you have somebody else managing the day-to-day operations while you kind of just stay above and you just acquire more properties. And then, you know, if you acquire as you acquire more properties, you already have something set in place that can help you run it and manage it. So it's like, oh, that's like a perfect idea, right? So I was like, okay, how do I get started? I sat on it for like a couple of weeks. I didn't really know how to find like a host or anything. But then I heard from a relative who is a co-host, or not co-host, sorry, excuse me, who's a realtor. She was like how one of her clients is like doing like an Airbnb property. And so I was like, okay, well, do you mind like giving her my information and telling her that I'll help her run her Airbnb for them, her and her husband? And they were like, yeah, okay. And then they got the property, and then I had a little chat with them. We discussed like they would pay me 10% of what the monthly revenue of the property would be. And I told them all the things that I would do. I would do the cleaning, I would do the restocking, I would do the guest communications, I would do the Airbnb guidebook. Anytime somebody had an issue, they wouldn't have to worry about it unless, like, let's say for example, like the AC is not working, or stuff like that like I'll need them to kind of address on their end. And then no things out of pocket would come out from me. Like I wouldn't pay for anything, that they would pay for anything, any restocking, any cleaning, anything that had to do with the property, they would pay for. My job was really just to manage the property and make sure that we're getting 5-star reviews. Like that's what I told them that I would do, and that's what we agreed on. And then we would say that they would pay me 10%. So I was like, okay, bet. So in January of this year, like it officially like started. And yeah, it hasn't been hard. It's been relatively like easy to perform and easy to do. There's definitely been like a little, oh my gosh, like fire drill moments, but they've always been handled within a couple of hours. So it doesn't scare me anymore. But when I first started, I obviously was nervous. But yeah, that's essentially how I got started, really. I just like knew someone, and I asked them like, hey, I asked a realtor like, hey, do you know if any of your clients, like if they're looking for houses or properties that they're hoping to turn into an investment property? She was like, yeah, I have someone. And so I started helping them. And then that's actually how I got my second property that I manage right now, is that I literally asked another realtor. Like I've been getting in contact with some realtors and some people from college that I knew, who eventually became realtors or decided to change their profession into a realtor. And I was just like, hey, if you have any people looking for like properties, or they're looking to invest in like Airbnb, like can you please just like slide them my name, my number, and my email if they're looking to turn this into an Airbnb property. So that's how it started to go, honestly. And so I've been doing that. It's July now. So I've been doing it since January. I got my first property in January, and then I got my second property in June. So it takes time. Like it definitely takes time. Other than like realtors, I have an account on cohostmarket.com, where I do get some inquiries from there as well. But that's like a website that's like really hard to find hosts, I'm not gonna lie, but it is a place to find them, because I eventually did find a host through cohostmarket.com, but it just didn't work out because of the fact that he wanted it to be like a long-term, like people were renting out his apartment for like 3 to 6 months. And that's not really what I wanted to do, simply because there really isn't any money in that. Personally, I just didn't think there was any money in it. Like I can't charge them for cleaning, or I can't charge them for managing this. So I only do short-term rentals, because that's the way to make money from Airbnb. Being a co-host is like managing a short-term rental and doing all the cleanings and doing the restocking and things like that. So that's how it kind of works, and that's how I kind of got started. Now I want to talk about, as far as like if you have to pay for anything or out of pocket, like what does that cost you? So as I mentioned before, like briefly in like some of my TikToks, I like answer this question all the time. Like it's literally free. Like I don't pay for anything that has anything to do with the property. The owner, even if, say for example, like I need to do a quick restock and I use my money, the owner pays me right back after I'm like, hey, I bought this. Like they pay me like right back through Zelle. So I really don't, and most times what I do and what I've been like recommending for other people is that when you get started on how to like pay for things, like I restock the Airbnb units, right? Well, obviously that costs money. So what we'll do is, my first host or like property owner, they actually gave me a debit card that and I guess because like they trust me, they know I'm not gonna do anything with it. It's from like a family recommendation, so they know I'm not gonna like steal their money or anything. So that's just something that they felt comfortable with doing. I'm not saying like every host is gonna be comfortable doing that, but I'm just telling you my personal experience. But they got a debit card and they put money on the debit card or like in the account every month. And so whenever I need something, I just use the card. Like I don't have to give a receipt or anything. Like I do, but like they know that if I'm using this card, it's because I need something. And I always tell them like, hey guys, I'm gonna restock the unit this weekend, hoping to spend about like $100, right? And they're like, okay, cool, go ahead. And so that's how I do it with the first property owner. Like I said, they put around like $200, $300 on the debit card every month. So I just use that card to pay the cleaning company, any maintenance repairs, any restocking, literally anything that has to do with the property that I need to get to make it successful and get 5-star reviews. Like that's what I use it for. Like I said, I don't use any of my own money, like at all. Like at all. Like I do not use my own money. I want to make that very clear. So I don't use my own money. And then the second owner that I have now, we actually set up something similar, but she does a prepaid card. So like a card that you can like reload money to every month. And so she just reloads money onto it every month. Like if I'm like, hey, I need to restock the unit, then she's like, okay, I just put $100 on the card, like go ahead and use it. And then I'll just use it, and then I will give her a receipt, just because like I don't really know her like that either. And it's just like better for business wise and like communications and everything like that, to let her know like what I'm using the money for. So I just send them a receipt after I'm done. I'm like, hey, you can see obviously in the account that I use this $58, but here's like the receipt of like what, and most of the time they really genuinely don't care, because they know I'm gonna get it done. Like every single property that I have now, again, the 2, and every guest that has stayed at the property has always given really great reviews, like nothing less than 4 stars. And if it's 4 stars, it has nothing to do with like me or my service, and has something to do with like, oh, we would like more seating in the unit, or oh, you know, and most of the time it's things like that. Like we want more patio furniture, or there's only 1 seat out there. Like people will leave that comment or that like review, or like the one time this girl left the shower rod fell down, and so she gave us 4 stars for that. Anyway, but she was like, everything else was great. I was like, girl, you could have gave us 5 stars. She knows she could have. But I'm just giving you guys examples of like, you know, of that. But to go back to my original just like conversation topic of like money, I don't pay anything. Anything that has to do with the property, they pay directly through a card. Now I want to talk about just like the onboarding process of like how I'm still growing. I just want to preface that too, of just like, I'm not saying everything that I do is perfect, or everything that I should do, you should definitely do. I'm not saying that. I'm just telling you guys what I do so that you get some information. And this is very informal. Like I'm just being straight up, just being forthcoming with information. But I do have like an onboarding process. I have like a document that I made in Canva. So literally for free. It did not cost me anything to do this, and it's just an onboarding document saying like, hey, welcome to Aspire Airbnb Property Management. Here's my name, here's my number, here's where I started, who I am, here's the cleaning companies that I'm partnered with, this is what you charge me, this is how much or this is how much you pay me, this is when you pay me, this is how you pay me, this is the rate, and this is why the rate says this. Like it literally just gives them like a quick, I think it's literally like maybe 4 pages. It's a PDF, and I send it to them like, hey, super excited to work with you. Here's like an onboarding with some just like important details and information about our partnership. And then along with that, I send a co-hosting agreement. I can drop a link to the co-hosting agreement that I use if you guys want it. I made it. I don't care if you use it. Please feel free to use the co-hosting agreement. If you are interested in doing this, like literally all you have to do is just like change your name, and then put the name of the owner that you're using, but everything else, like you pretty much should stay the same. The only other thing is like the percentage of what you're charging. Just remember that if you're going to charge for this co-hosting service, it should be between 10 to 20%. If you get above that, that means like you're doing some serious, like you're doing the marketing, you're doing the social media, like you really going, you know, you going above and beyond, and that's great. Like that's great. And that eventually, like I would love to get to that place where like I'm offering like social media help and things like that. But like right now, I'm just building up my reputation and my resume of being a co-host, so that like as I get more properties, just doing like the regular co-hosting service, I can add people to my team and be like, now I have like a team of co-hosts. And so each property owner has their own personal co-host. But yeah, enough about that though, because that's definitely something that I want to talk about later, of like how I'm actually going to grow this business. And I'm just gonna share with you guys what I'm doing, because I totally think that it's replicable, and like I don't have any, like it's not gonna hurt me. There's enough money out there. I really, you know, it's not hurting me to share this information. I'm happy to, especially like if you know, you want to create your own life and do what's best for you, and create something that you can still earn a livable wage from, but you're doing it on your own time. Because that's what I definitely love about doing this. And so the third thing that I want to touch on, and just like the last thing, so this video probably doesn't get too long, but the last thing I want to talk about is like how many hours a week that like I usually do this, in case you want to do this on top of your 9 to 5, which I currently do. So I work a 9 to 5 corporate America job, but I do also do this on the side as well. So as far as like hours, honestly, I would say like maybe 5 hours, maybe max. Like it really isn't a lot, especially when people are checked in for an extended amount of time. So if somebody comes in and they check in for like 5 days, like I'm not worrying about that property for 5 days. And then even after that 5 days, all I'm doing is like telling the cleaner, hey, this person is checking out on Friday, January 28th, and I need the unit clean by the 30th because we have somebody coming on the 2nd. You know what I mean? Like it's literally just that. Most of like what I do. And then everything else, as far as like answering questions from the guest and like sending them their check-in information and everything, all of that is automated. Like literally my whole business is pretty much automated. Most of it, I would say like 90% of it is automated, and then like the other 10% is like one-off like little questions that people ask that like I just use my phone to respond. Like you literally can do this all from your phone, all from your laptop. A phone and a laptop, you can get started today if you wanted to. Like genuinely, you could really get started today. All you have to do is find a host. And I say all that, but like I will admit that it's not necessarily easy all the time to find a host, so that just like keep that in mind. But yeah, as far as like working, it really isn't that many hours. You're doing admin work, just making sure, you know, all the bookings are clean, so there's no double bookings, changing the pricing on the Airbnb. But that's kind of all that I wanted to share with you guys today. If you have any more specific questions, or you know, you want me to do like a short video just going in more depth about that thing, then please leave the questions down below and I will try my very best to answer them all. Like I'm an open book about this. Like literally feel free to ask me questions. I do have an Airbnb guide. I'll try to link that too, so that you guys have it, where it kind of goes into this information that I'm telling you like in written detail. If you want to like hear it, but you want to like see the layout of like how to build the business out, or like what an Airbnb co-host does, then that ebook would be pretty helpful for you. But that's all that I had to share with you guys. I am super excited to continue this journey because I really do love it, and there's more opportunities on the horizon. So anytime I find an opportunity or something for a co-host, I'll try to share with you guys. I don't know, tell me how you would like me to share some of that information. So if I like see an Upwork or I see a Fiverr, those are like other websites where you can post like jobs, where people will post like little jobs for that I have seen co-hosts for. So if I like see something like that, then maybe I can share it with you guys. I don't know, maybe we talk about that and develop a process for that so I can help you guys find hosts, because like I said, that really is like the hardest part. But everything else, I can literally share my onboarding document. You just customize it to your business and your business name, share the co-host agreement so you can change your business, change the colors and all of that stuff. And then as I grow more, like I said, then I can share some of those like other documents and things like that that I do. But that's all that I have to share with you guys. Again, make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you leave some comments down below, and thanks so much for watching.